Today I'm going to show you how to build this DIY record player table. But first, hi, I'm Erin Spain. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who have been longtime subscribers, you might be wondering where I've been for the last couple years. So I will get into that, but I'll add a timestamp to the description box below in case you want to skip ahead to the tutorial. Now, where have I been? I did step away from this channel for quite some time, but I have still been adding projects to my website, which is ErinSpain.com, and producing build plans for brand partners. I've also been doing photography on the side. I love event and concert photography, so if you're interested, you can check out my work over on Instagram at ErinSpainPhoto. You can also find me on my main Instagram account, which is ErinSpainBlog. Now, if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel because, believe it or not, I am resurrecting it. I am coming back to it, but my schedule is pretty sporadic and I don't want you to miss anything, so be sure to click the bell. Now let's talk about today's project. This is one that I am super excited about. It's something that I've wanted to build for a really long time, and I had a lot of fun designing this and bringing it to life. I will link to all the tools and materials in the description box below, but let's get into the project. The first thing you'll do is cut your wood to the specific dimensions, which can be found in the description box below. You'll use two 18-inch by 48-inch project panels for the top and the bottom, so no need to cut those. Then you'll cut two project panels to 22.5 inches long each for the sides, and one project panel to 46.5 inches long for the compartment shelf. You'll cut a 1x6 board to 46.5 inches long for the compartment door, and then you will cut 5 1-inch split dowel rods to 46.5 inches long for the detail on the front of the compartment door. Next, you're going to drill your pocket holes, and I used the Kreg Jig 520 Pro for this. So first you're going to drill 3 holes along each short end of the side pieces, which are your 22.5 inch long project panels, and then you'll drill 3 holes along each short end of your 46.5 inch long compartment shelf project panel piece. One of the things I love about pocket hole joinery, and the reason that I use it so often, is it is so beginner friendly, but it's also just so practical for anybody to use. But it's a great place to start if you are a beginner woodworker and you want to just start building pieces and you want an easy way to join your wood. I've personally just never gotten into learning the more sophisticated types of wood joinery, although I would love to eventually. I'm not a professional woodworker, so this is easy for me, and it makes it just a lot more practical for me to build. And there are so many different pocket hole jigs on the market. I just happen to use this one the most because it's really portable and user-friendly and lightweight. Next, you will sand all of your pieces of wood. Make sure you get all the jagged edges smoothed, and also smooth over where you drilled your pocket holes. Then you'll swap out your pocket hole drill bit with the driver bit that comes with your pocket hole jig, and we're ready to attach our sides to the top and bottom. I used 1 1/4 inch pocket hole screws for this. So I attached the sides to the bottom using these pocket hole screws, and if you don't have an extra set of hands to help you out, it's a little bit awkward, but you can definitely do it. And I also used a speed square just to kind of help me make sure everything was getting drilled in straight. Then I flipped the whole thing over and attached what will be the top or the bottom. I guess at this point it doesn't matter which one you're doing first. The main thing is just kind of adjusting it, making sure that everything is going in straight and even and level and square and all of that good stuff. Next, we're going to drill our holes for our concealed soft closed hinges. We are going to drill them into the compartment shelf piece, and I used a Kreg concealed hinge jig for this, which made the job so easy. So I drilled 2 of these about 1/3 of the way in from either side, and the reason I added a compartment instead of a drawer is because, quite frankly, I absolutely hate building drawers, but you absolutely could do that instead. I just opted for a little compartment with a flip down door. It's really easy. I can just slide in records or whatever I want in that little compartment, so it does provide some storage without being difficult. So that's why I did that. And this jig really did make this job go so quickly. Next, we're going to add our split dowel rod detailing to the front of our compartment door. I just used a little sheet of sandpaper to smooth out the edges, and then I marked the center point across the board because I wanted to add the middle dowel rod first and make sure it is perfectly straight and level, so then I can use it as a guide to add the rest of the dowel rods. But getting that first one on there straight is the most important thing. I used wood glue and a brad nailer to attach these. Super simple. And then I went back in with wood filler after the fact just to patch all of the little holes. By the way, this silicone glue brush is one of my favorite handy little things I keep in my workshop. I absolutely love it. So I will link to that as well as all of my other tools and materials in the description box below. Once you get your dowel rod pieces attached, make sure you take a cloth or a paper towel or something and just wipe away the excess glue before it dries. And that way it'll be less of a mess later on for you to scrape away. Next, you're gonna attach your hinges, and I just used a little 1x scrap piece of wood as a spacer and as a guide to adjust my hinges, which you can do by either tightening or loosening the little screws that are attached to it. That will allow you a little bit of leeway, left or right or forward or backward, so you can get it just right. Again, this part is just a tiny bit awkward without an extra set of hands to help, but it's totally doable. So here I am attaching the front compartment door. So I've already attached the hinge to the actual shelf piece. Now I'm attaching it to the door, and then I'm going to awkwardly attach the shelf into the actual record player table. Yeah, you get the gist. So I placed a 1x6 board just kind of propped inside as I'm aligning this, just as a little bit of support, since again, I don't have an extra set of hands, and that will help me just kind of line up exactly where it needs to go, so then I can attach it using my pocket hole screws. I used a wrench as a spacer so there would be a tiny gap, which ensured that the door wouldn't close too tightly and get stuck. And right now I'm working upside down, so the whole thing is going to be flipped over here in a few moments. All right, so I have flipped it over, and now we are marking and measuring, or well, other way around, measuring and marking where to put the handle. So in order to center it, it really helps me at least to use a piece of painter's tape. I mark on the painter's tape where the holes are exactly. Then I measure some more, mark some more, make sure they're in the right spot, but it really helps having that little guide. And then I drill, and usually I have to use a couple different drill bits to get the holes the right size. Sometimes, this is not a technical tip, but what I do is I kind of like wiggle the drill around as I'm drilling the hole, and that way it kind of stretches it enough for the screw to go in. And here I am adding wood filler and sanding that smooth. I also use wood filler on any knots in the wood and then sand that smooth, and it helps them from bleeding through the paint later on. All right, so now I am priming, and then I will paint. I will go ahead and link to my furniture painting tutorial if you want any guidance with that. And it just kind of teaches you how to get the smoothest, most professional looking paint finish possible. Here I am adding the legs, which I found on Amazon. And then once I moved the record player table in where I wanted it in the house, then I added the compartment door and readjusted it and all of that. I cannot tell you the exact paint color this is, I am so sorry. It's basically just an olive green. I know it is Behr Marquee and an eggshell finish, but the shade rubbed off the label because it's an old can of paint. If I can ever figure it out, I will add that to the description box below. Once I painted it and got it in place, then I sealed it with a furniture paste wax, which I love, and all of that information is in my furniture painting tutorial. And here is the finished project. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can find more projects on my website, which is ErinSpain.com, and you can find me on Instagram at ErinSpainBlog. And now for the outtakes. Gotta warm up. It's been a while. Oops. Oh no. I will never not have outtakes. It doesn't matter how long it's been. Okay. Oh, no. Kind of don't remember how to do this. Hi. rusty. It's been a while. It's been a while. Okay. If you are a long time, no. Shoot. Dang it. Here we go again. Forgot to do the top. Damn it. Hey. Wait, what was that? What was that? And you can also find me on my. All right, let's get into today's project, which I'm. Why did I say it like that? Why do I sound like that? What's wrong with me? I'm sweating. I'm sweating.